Hello, my name is Paula Obrien and I'm a psychic medium. I thought it would be amazing to have some of my work filmed so I can share it with you. After doing so many shows and hearing how much everyone likes to see and hear the messages for everyone else, I thought it would be lovely to have some of the more intimate messages filmed so that we could share it with you. They're much more in depth and I think you'll enjoy watching them. Snuggle down, make a cup of tea and let's begin. I do feel very emotional with the person that has just come through. All morning I have been getting ready and it's not unusual for me to get visitors during this process except when I'm in the shower, that's not allowed. And I keep hearing the name William the whole time. William, William, William. And now you're sat there, he's just walked in and he's just sat next to you, so I'm hoping William is important to you. He says he is. He says he's the love of your life, so we're going to go with him on that one. Except he doesn't want to be called William, because he says that's his Sunday name. So I either have to call him Will or Wool. Did he get called Wooly? I'm sorry I'm pronouncing it wrong, he's laughing at my silly accent. Okay. Are you okay? Okay.
Fabulous.
Okay. You have so much in common with me. So, Poppy is somebody obviously I need to acknowledge, and I don't know if she's a similar age to my Puppy's 6.
Very similar.
Okay, so it's saying similar. I need to acknowledge a couple of dates with you, and the dates that are important. My mum's birthday is the 1st of February. And Will is saying that that's a very important date for him.
Very important.
Okay, so I need to acknowledge that. It was such a shock when he passed. Nobody was prepared for it. He keeps saying he's sorry. I hope that makes sense to you.
Totally makes sense to me.
He's so nervous. I don't know if this is the first time that he's been through to see you, to talk to you.
It is. Because
he says this is the first, and now all of a sudden for a man that could speak for Scotland, he's tongue-tied and like all stuttering. Who sings? He loves singing.
Yep.
But there's somebody sings for him here. Somebody's singing for him. And I don't know if somebody sang a song for him and said this is for you. But I need to acknowledge that he loved that. It was amazing. And she has to keep going with it. It's something that she needs to keep going. She doesn't realise how clever she is. And doesn't realise how super talented she is. But her song for him is something that he will treasure forever. He sings, kinda. He's laughing at me with his singing. He wasn't in the Navy, was it? No, with the sailor hat.
He wasn't in the Navy, but there is a connection there.
He wants to. He's a want-to-be Navy man, or wants to. There's something to do with the sailing in the Navy that's important for him. Okay. He keeps showing me himself with a hat on. He thinks he looks very handsome, and he's a very good-looking man. He's super sexy, apparently. I need to mention the tattoos here.
Yep.
Has someone had a tattoo done in honour of him?
Yes.
Then he's saying, will you thank them for that? That's very important. And I don't know if somebody's had something done on their foot actually, rather than...
I don't know about that. But
okay, there's something on their foot, okay. And I'm here again with the tattoos. I feel like I can't breathe. I feel really uncomfortable.
It's the way he died.
Yeah, okay. It was so quick. There was something about when you said goodbye to him. I don't know if he knew that would be the last time that he would see you. It's like the time it was happening. He's not able to speak. So when it's almost like the last goodbye was more important, realising the enormity of what was happening to him. But his speech went, it's like his breath went and I couldn't speak. And I couldn't say I loved you, there wasn't time, it was all a panic. It was all, everything was just going mad, it was mental at the time that it happened. Very uncomfortable here in my chest, the whole thing is uncomfortable all the way up. He needs you to know that he wasn't aware of it when it was happening. That is an important thing for you to realise.
And that's really good for me.
because he thinks you think that he could sense it all and he knew it was happening, and he was saying I didn't. It was a bit like that moment in Ghost. I don't know if that's one of your favourite films, but when he stood outside watching it happen, Patrick Swizzlestick stood over there watching, and that's how it was for me. I couldn't feel anything. So you need to know that I didn't feel that, okay? I need to mention September, or the 9th of a month, has been important for an anniversary or a birthday. Everybody that's with you has been incredibly supportive, and he's thrilled at that. His biggest worry, his biggest fear was that they would abandon you somehow, and it's okay.
No, I'm not crying.
You are crying, I can see.
I'm not crying with sadness.
Happiness. It's a strange feeling, isn't it? When
I actually can't control it.
No, I think sometimes it's the overwhelming situation that you find yourself in, that he's here, and that I'm telling you things that only I could know, and it concretes what you feel, and it concretes the belief that you have. I know.
I'll be all over the place in a minute.
It's okay. I think for Will, it's as much a relief for him to let you know that he's watching you.
Can I just tell you something about the name? And how nobody would know this, because nobody called him William. That was his Sunday name.
Okay.
However, my name for him was Will.
I'm calling him it all
And
the time.
I never call, and
You never did it in
in
public,
work,
or no?
in his working life and his friends, he was known as Willie, but I called him
You called
Will.
him Will. I'm calling him that all the time. It's Will. He knows that.
So nobody would know that.
He you saved him. You saved him when you met him.
His mum said that to me.
You created something in him that no one saw. You saw through the barrier that he put up. You saw through Will, the tough guy. You made him real, whole. You made him have a softer side, which he'd always been afraid to show. He was in a lot of pain when he met you. He'd been through the mill and had had some really rough deals with the baggage that he carried around. And he met you, and you were different to anybody that he'd ever met. You blew him away. And it was not long enough. It was a
So, Paul, all I can say is everything you have said is true.
He's a great guy. He loves his body.
Oh, he did. Because it was fabulous.
He's actually at some point offered to take his top off, so
Him.
I don't go on to see that. Oh, I don't know so much. It would be quite nice to see. He's actually, I won't show my belly off, but he's actually lifting his top up so I can see his 7-pack. I'm going to blush. Why did you question so many times that he was too good for you? Why would you think that? Should have been the other way around.
He used to say that to me.
You were too good for him. Imagine that.
He used to say, "What are you talking about?"
I know. You used to have a low, not like a low self-confidence around him. It was almost like, because he was a very good-looking guy, but you're super stunning, and he used to tell you that, but you're so... Oh, he's actually just called you stupid. I'm so sorry. You're so stupid sometimes that you don't see what I saw in you, what you did for me, and your beauty is not only on the outside, but it glows from within. And he loved that about you. He loved the natural side of you. Your sense of humour is ridiculous. He just loves how much that you used to giggle and make each other laugh, and he loved that part of you. That will come back.
How do you know this?
Because he sat right there. He's a good guy. He's good at his job. He winks all the time. Like it's just like a little wink. Do you sleep with something of his still? Or did you have? He keeps on acknowledging a piece of clothing that has his smell on it because he smells amazing. So there is a piece of clothing that he acknowledges it's either been touched, worn, or it's being slept with. It's like his top. Or
it's in my bedroom.
okay, and I don't know if when he first passed that you used to I feel like I need to cuddle it, and he's saying that that's perfectly okay to do. One of the other things that's really annoying him is people's interpretation of how you should be getting over it. It is really annoying him, and I think when he goes off on one, he goes, yes. So he's actually doing quite well at this point, not to make lights go, people keep acknowledging. I don't know if we've just, I don't know why I'm looking over there. There has to be like the year mark. We've just passed the year mark, because he's saying I've only been gone a year.
The 1st of February.
I've only been gone a year. It's the 1st of Feb. Okay, my mum's birthday. Okay, that's nothing. On the scale of how long you loved him and how long there is left in life, a year is nothing. My brother's been gone 24 years ago, yesterday, and it feels to me like it was just yesterday that it happened, and I can still cry as much today as I could on the day he died. There's no time scale for grieving. You never heal. It's like trying to heal a hole the size of the Grand Canyon with Play-Doh. It's impossible. He doesn't want you to think that you need to rush this. This is about adaptation, about adapting your life without will. At the end of the day, it's an incredible void. His energy, who he was, how he made you feel, the way he was taken. You are not going to suddenly get up one morning and think, oh, well, that's it today. But other people who tell you to do that, they need to go. You need to fill your life full of people that support you, and that may be having to shelve some of the others.
There's 3 people that has been shelved.
Good. Then he's proud of you for doing that. Don't feel guilty.
I try not to, but
you do carry a lot of guilt around with you, though. And but that's just you. That's what makes you you. He needs you to know that there was nothing that you could have done then or now to have made a difference. He understands it more now than he did then. A lot of people always at the end of a reading ask if they're happy. He's making me want to acknowledge this. No, he's not happy. He's there and not here. But he's okay, and he's okay with it. It took him a while to settle, given the nature of his passing. But now he's there, he realises he can kick angel ass, apparently. So he's creating hell up.
Like him.
He's creating hell up there. God only knows what they've let themselves in for, I tell you.
That's him.
That's what he does. He can't be hemmed in. He's not a person that can be kind of mollycoddled and restricted.
No.
He's the same up there as he was down here. And that's important for you to know that. People don't change just because they gain wings. They're what they are. And part of his job, if you will, is to help people across the same way. And he got that very quickly. So it's not been in vain, his passing. It's very important that you know that he still is busy doing nothing.
And he's the same person?
He's the same person, and always will be. He loves to make you aware of him. So he will be making things go bump in the night, leaving feathers for you, doing all the things, and he says he knows that you know he's there. The question is with you is sometimes that you question it. You always think, was that in my head? Is that me? No, it's from him all the time. And he loves to, I don't know if he pokes you, but it's like he loves to, I feel I need to touch you with him. He needs to poke you and you'll know he's there. Please stop questioning it.
Well,
can I just say something really weird? I know this is right. Did he love your boobies? He loves your boobies. Will
I better tell his mum that one.
I sat the whole time and he's saying, will you mention it? Will you mention it? And I'm like, I can't say that. And he said, please, she'll know, it's me. Okay, he still loves your boobies, okay, just for the record.
I'm totally
a booby man.
Shocked.
But I mentioned boobies.
No, that everything you have said, that is all relevant
to him. That's because he's so lovely. Don't change. Just keep being who you are. I think you went through a dramatic stage of wanting to change yourself and almost, I don't know if it's the hair I need to acknowledge here. Don't ever do anything different to your hair because
I have been talking about that.
Please don't. I don't know if you're going to thinking of cutting it or changing the colour or please don't. You're who you are as one unit, and he loves that. He knows that this isn't the right time to say this, but he doesn't know when he'll get the chance to tell you this directly through me again. You're too beautiful and too young to be on your own forever. He knows he has huge boots to fill. He's not saying no, like in the next 5 years will do, apparently. But it's okay for you not to be on your own. He needs you to know that. And I know you'll argue back, because he's saying she'll argue back and say she'll love me forever and can never be anyone else. But, so he's filling your words for you, which is something he used to do all the time, finishing off your sentences.
All the time.
Because he's saying, I can tell her what she's going to say immediately, so we'll preempt that. But just let her know that when she does, I'm there for her every step of the way. And she'll know the right time because I'll send the right person. But he just doesn't want you to worry about that. Do you still have his ring? There's a ring I need to acknowledge. Okay.
There's a ring.
Okay. It wasn't a wedding ring though, no?
No, it wasn't a wedding ring.
It feels like it's supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
Did you know he was going to do that?
He did ask me.
That was the next thing he wanted to do, was to get it sorted. He'd asked you, but it wasn't, nothing was in stone, in concrete. He needed it to be done quickly. I don't know if you're the only person who's ever wanted to do that too, but you were the one. You know, people say you're the one, the soulmate, like who you are to each other. And that was really true of you, and he wanted to kind of make you his forever. And that was something that he regrets not doing sooner. Who knew at the end of the day?
I know.
Was there a third party involvement when he passed? He needs to acknowledge the other person or the other part. I don't know if this was an accident or there was some kind of accidental passing, but it's caused by someone else.
No, it wasn't an accident.
Then someone else is causing this, or someone else is involved with this?
Someone else is involved because someone else found him.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a connection.
Okay, the connection there, okay. But he had a hand in this?
Oh, it was always one too.
That's what he's saying, okay. Can I just cover that a little bit more in depth? Is that okay?
Of course.
When he first came through to me, I actually felt like he'd taken himself across.
He did.
Okay, I felt like it was suicide, that's what I felt, okay. But I need to expand on that. And he needs you to know that he didn't mean to. So to me it feels like it was accidental.
Oh.
He'd got so far, and then he couldn't stop it. And he tried to come back. And he'd gone. He's so sorry. People will wonder why he needed to do that. And sometimes life for him was like putting on a Butlins red coat every day. It was too much. And I couldn't do it. I'd been so used to being up there and then being knocked back and going high and going low every day, and the pressures were mounting and people's perceptions of who or what I should be. Never you, ever you. It was the others, and you know who they are. Put so much pressure on him every day. Da-da! He couldn't come out and be the da-da man anymore.
That was him.
But on the day that he decided, and that's when I said about the last goodbye to you, he knew that that would be the last goodbye. It wasn't making sense at the time because he just didn't come out and say that. It's a series of things he's come out with over this session.
What you've said about the last goodbye and he couldn't speak, he didn't actually physically speak to me about it. He wrote me a letter.
He couldn't. It's very important that last goodbye and then not being able to speak. Trying to explain how he felt was impossible, and maybe that was part of his problem, that he didn't tell you enough when he was here about the Sending the Clowns as a song. It's very important for me to reiterate to you, and it's about somebody. I think if we analyse the words, it's a very sad song, but everybody's having fun and gay, and the clown comes on with his makeup and he's all happy, and he goes backstage and he takes off his clown makeup, and there's just the empty shell that is Will. And that day it was just, that was it for him. It was just too much. But he didn't mean to. This was an exceptional cry for help that went wrong. And he doesn't want you and his mum to think that he was so weak for being one of the strongest guys I've ever met. It was one of the most strongest things that he could do, but it was his showing his weakness, and it just went, whether he had an allergic reaction or everything just went funny, or it went, because I'm here all the time with this, and I'm like, I do it and then suddenly bump. I don't think he realised how quick it would all happen. In his own words, I didn't really put much thought into it.
That was his nature. The way he used
diving
to do
in,
things.
like I didn't even put my toe in the water. I'd jump straight in and it would be filled with piranha, and I'd get myself out of it. That would be me. That's exactly what happened that day.
That's his nature.
And he needs you to forgive him. That is all he wants, forgiveness.
I know, because I question it every day.
And he to have left you and everybody the way he did makes you feel that you did something wrong. And that was part of the guilt that I was talking about when you said that you feel too guilty. There is nothing that you can have done or known or changed or altered.
That's where my guilt comes in, because I think could have done something, could have helped him more, could have...
He's so... For a man, I reiterate again, can talk for Scotland, he's so private. He's taken me the best part of this session to actually make him talk about it. And he's done it in bits. He's given me snippets and then he's gone off in tangents and come back to it. Anything that's serious or grown up, he's going to struggle with. Like Peter Pan, he is. Or one of the Lost Boys. He's a Lost Boy. And for him, when he was saying that he helps people across who've done the same thing, he was acknowledging that people who have taken their own lives, he hates even saying the word, because to him that's not how this feels. I have to say that, it feels like an accident. And that's how he gave me. And it will always be the same way for me, because that's how he wants me to remember it. So it wasn't the definitive, I'm going to take my own life today. That's what it felt like, but it was, then when he did it, it was like, oh, that's that then. It's almost like he stood on the other side in wonderment thinking, oh my God, how the hell did that happen? And he's almost trying to claw his way back, and he couldn't. He's sorry for the person that found him. It wasn't meant to happen that way. But again, he didn't put much thought into it. He has one red rose with him. Just one flower. I can't mention a whole bunch of them. I can't mention a massive, great big thing for him. But there is something significant with the Valentine's Day, which obviously was a couple of weeks after his passing. But I need to acknowledge just the one flower. I don't know what he means by that. Whether there's one with him, in with him, or there's one by him, but I need to acknowledge just the one.
I'll let you think about it.
One
because it's really hazy.
Of course it will. You'll have blocked it out, and that's quite unusual. Not unusual, it's quite standard practice for people to do that. It would be unusual if you didn't do that. But it's the one flower, and I have to give you one flower, not a whole great big group.
I do know.
Okay.
But it was in happy times.
Yeah, that's what he's acknowledging. The one. It's not one for a great big bunch.
I know what it is.
Very simple. I have to give you just the one.
I know what it is.
Well, he's giving you that same flower today. He needs you to remember the happy times. It's difficult because you keep trying to remember the happy times, but they get blotted out by the bad. Maybe after today it might help you realise that there were more happy times then.
Oh, definitely. Well, there was more. Definitely, there was more happy times.
Which is probably why you're questioning why he did what he did. Please don't question it anymore after today. There is a song that... There are two songs that he acknowledges. I'm going to say I'm not a Robbie Williams fan, I am because I'm going to see him, but Robbie Williams' Angels is very important, and if that plays on the radio, it's kind of coming from him. But for some reason I keep on hearing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I don't know why, but that would be the Eva Cassidy version. He keeps playing that To Me Too, and that's two songs that are very significant to me. Maybe it's just his way of saying that there is an emotional song that you'll know is his. When I hear both those songs and anything from the Carpenters, I know it's my mum.
Right.
And they'll come on the radio, and that'll be my sign from my mum to say, darling, I'm here. He's got the same song, albeit a different song for you. Whenever it comes on the radio, it's just his way of saying, I'm here. I don't know if it played at his funeral, but he's acknowledging that that will be there for you, okay? So you need to just, his song, keep saying it's his song, probably one that he sang. That will be playing very often in the next couple of days, just for you to get used to the fact that he's here with you, okay? Is there anything you'd like to ask?
No, I just think, as I say, Paula, I didn't know what I was coming to. I was very open-minded. I'm not a doubter, I'm a believer. And I didn't know what I was coming to. I was excited, I was fear of the unknown. And now I've came here, I feel very enlightened, I feel very,
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's lovely of you to say, thank you.
I'm very, I can go away and think,
You know he's with you, and that is what we need. We need you to know that he's with you every day. There's nowhere else he'd sooner be, Jane.
because nobody else would know.
And that's how special that is. That's what he wanted, and that's why Poppy chose you. What's the Poppy connection to you?
Poppy is my niece,
Okay.
the love of my life, and she's 8.
Okay, that makes sense then, because Poppy's, means the world to me, and it meant a lot to Will as well.
So
He looks after her. Okay, I'll leave you with his love. Thank you.
thank you. The impression of the reading that I had with Paula was today, there's only one word that I can describe it as: phenomenal. Because no one would know what she has enlightened me with, or what she's acknowledged, what she has told me that anybody else would know. I mean, there were certain aspects of it, what stands out to me was certain people in my life are questioning why I'm not getting over this. No one would know that. The other aspect, she could tell me significant dates that was all important, all true. Also, the way she could describe him, William, the way he came through to me, she could describe his personality, the way he lived his life, the way he was with me, with the short space of time that we had together, the relevance of it. And she could actually tell me how he passed, and no one else would know that. No one. Well, there would be people out there that would know, but not the way she spoke in depth about it. So there's no question about it that I totally enjoyed it. Although I'm not crying with sadness, I'm crying with happiness for what she's done for me, because it's made me feel a lot calmer, because I needed to ask questions, but technically I didn't need to ask questions because she was answering everything that I thought inside me. So how would anybody without a special gift know that? And I certainly would come back to Paula again, and not only for a reading, but I think even for a spiritual well-being, to help, along the way, to calm a person, because I'm not calm inside. And as Paula says, a year is nothing. So I'm glad that she's even spoke about that as well, because I do question, a year on, should I not be moving on? And she's told me it's okay, so I'm going by what she says. An inspirational lady.
Barry being Barry. I'll drive myself. I won't ring an ambulance or dial 999 like a normal person would. I'll get myself in the car because he thought it would be quicker. Because he didn't think he was having a heart attack. It happened so quickly. He needs you to know that he felt nothing. Nothing. He wasn't one for emotion. He wasn't one for bandying about I love yous unnecessarily. I don't know if you can count on one hand how many times he actually said it.
Yeah.
He needs to say it today. You were amazing for him. You were one of the most amazing sisters. He never gave you credit for what you did for him while he was here. He was hard work. He was difficult, stubborn, and sometimes couldn't be very nice. He wants to say sorry for all of that. And he wants to say to you right now how much he loves you. And he's sorry that he's had to wait until he passed and get me to do it for him. Because he just wished he had the courage to say it while he was still here.